I clip my microphone. Cool. Sup people, Fernus here, and welcome to the goddamn Archetype Petrucci plugin video. I'm gonna show you guys what's my process, at least what I do, to dial in a tone from scratch. So unlike the tone video for the Master of Puppets series that I got, which was based off of a Rammstein tone, I'm actually gonna show you my process of what I do to make a tone of my own, and so that maybe you can come up with your own. So yeah, that's the process. The first thing is I haven't downloaded the plugin, goddammit. First off, what I want to say is that this is just my approach. This is how I do it. This is how I like to make my own guitar tones. By no means I'm gonna be saying that this is like the ultimate way and all that stuff. This is just how I do it, and maybe it can give you some ideas or some perspective for you on how to start making your own guitar tones. Considering that this is not a tone that I would personally use, like just as a metal tone, you know, I feel like these settings are great for us to start making a tone of our own. But first, the only thing I'm gonna do, you know, just leave the amp with everything at 12 o'clock basically, and just put an overdrive in, drive at 0, level at max, just so that we get that nice and push tone immediately. Also, by the way, this would also apply to like real amplifiers, but you know, I don't have the space nor the acoustics to record that sort of stuff, so we're just gonna do it on the plugin. So first thing that I really like about this plugin actually is the fact that we have no 57, so like just because of that we're gonna get a different tone than what we're usually used to. So the first thing that I personally do is pick a cabinet, because that is going to be like the biggest deciding factor on how your tone is gonna sound. Most of your tone is gonna come from your cabinet, so like that's where I choose to start at the very least. For this plugin, unlike the other neural DSP plugins, it doesn't particularly look like we can separate the head from the cab. So like, you know, for example, I cannot pick this cabinet with this amplifier. Maybe this is just the same cab, the same mesa boogie cabinet that Petrucci uses, and maybe that's why we don't really have the option to change it. Not sure if I'm correct on that, I could be wrong, but yeah, at least that's my theory. So I think I'm gonna stay with this one, and immediately you can tell like this is very bright, like very in your face, very aggressive. But also I just feel like it's the one I like the best. Second thing that I would do is pick the microphone you like the best. So this is the 2500. Okay, so I think that's my favorite. Now for me, I would have two options. One is I can just start to play with the positioning and the distance of the microphone from the cabinet, because that's also going to be one of the biggest factors on how your tone sounds. But also a lot of times I like combining microphones to see how everything sounds, so that's gonna be the next step for me. That's just gonna be a volume increase because it's the same microphone. Okay, so I think that's gonna be the combination that I'm gonna use. Now again, the other thing you gotta start playing with is the positioning. Now the cool thing about this plugin is the room microphone distance. So this is a first for me, like, you know, using room microphones for rhythm guitar tones. So yeah, let's check it out. So actually, I think we can hear just the room microphone if we do this. Turn off the mic level and just hear the room one. Okay, so the far one, it sounds like it's probably placed in a corner, which would explain why it has such a big difference in the low end, like all that low mids and low end buildup. Middle one sounds like the best balance out of all of these choices. The close one is the most aggressive one for sure. So now let's check it out with the main microphone sound. I'm gonna put it fairly loud at first to check out what the difference actually is. I would not actually make the room microphone this loud for a mix or like for your final tone that you come up with, but it is good so you can hear what the difference is like very clearly. I actually like it a lot, so I would maybe turn that even lower. Okay, yeah, so I like it that way. Second thing is actually the other microphone, but the process is the same. So let's keep to just the favorite position for me that I found. Okay, I think that is just gonna be the tone that I'm gonna stick for now. Also, one thing to keep in mind if you're doing this with real amplifiers, real microphones, real cabs, is that if you're gonna set the different microphones to different distances between the microphone and the cab, you're gonna start having phase issues, which I'm not gonna cover in this video because it's a really deep topic that you should probably start investigating on your own if you're doing this with real cabinets. But yeah, just keep that in mind. I know neural DSP compensates the distance between the microphones like just automatically, so you really don't need to worry about phasing issues with their plugins. Yeah, you know, like it sounds like it should sound, which is in phase basically. Next thing I would do after I have my cabinet selected and my microphones positionings and all that stuff selected is start actually playing with the amp settings and also your pedal settings. Okay, so the first thing, I feel like it's the most important one, is to play around with your gain so that you can decide what your gain level is gonna be. So I think those are gonna be my settings for now. The next thing I'm gonna do is actually play with the master, because I'm guessing this amplifier is also gonna be like the amplifiers we've seen in other neural DSP videos, which is basically, if you turn the master down, you usually make the amplifier sound tighter, but also like with less mids. Whereas if you go the opposite way, it's gonna sound a lot more mid-rangey. So like this. We compensate that with the level knob. Whereas if we go the other way around, it sounds a lot more like it's putting the mid-range in your face. So those would be the EQ moves that don't actually use, you know, your regular EQs, so your treble, middle, bass, all that stuff. Now before we start messing with those, I want to see what actually the switches do. So let's check out the mid boost. And now the bite. I feel like this is really good if you are doing Slayer type stuff. I think I like it better with those off, but that opinion might change as we start playing with this. So I actually want to see what the tight knob does. Okay, that's a lot more low end. Actually, that gives me an idea. I want to see what the tight knob does without an overdrive, so... I think I like it better with the overdrive version. The other knob that you shouldn't forget to play with is the tone knob on your overdrive pedal if you're using it. I think I like those right about there. Now bass, middle, treble, presence, you know that stuff. I heard Scott Elliott once saying that you should start playing with your presence first, at least with these knobs. It was something like that. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure if I'm quoting him correctly. So yeah, let's just go about it that way. One thing you might notice that I like doing with the knobs, it's like actually going like full way both ways usually. That way you're telling your ears that it has like, okay, this is the range that you can have with this knob. It's personally what's worked for me the best. the way I like it the best for now. Now let's go with the mids. Okay, so what I'm realizing, okay, yeah, let me try it out. Let's go with the presses. There, bass 0, middle 0, treble max. So for those of you that don't know, on the 2C Plus amplifier that Petrucci uses, the bass, the middle, and the treble knobs are actually pre-gain, if I'm not mistaken. So what you would typically do on this amplifier is this, like if you want a starting point. Actually check that with the tight and the presence knob just there. Yeah, just a little tip if you're using that particular amplifier or this particular plugin. I'm just gonna set it how I liked it. Yeah, I like that. So if I do that, you can add like a fuzzy-ish element with the bass knob on this one. Yeah, there we go, that's more like it. Bass knob has like a really sensitive point, just like around the middle area actually. Okay, so I think those would be my settings for this. I'm not using a compressor nor a wah, so I'm also going to turn that section off. Next thing is going to be the EQ, and like because of how the 2C Plus works, this is actually going to be like really important. First off, I love this type of EQ personally a lot more compared to the old style that nerual used to do. These are less bands in total, but also you have more control over which frequency you want to attack. So I'm not going to go very in depth with it, but what I do know is that I'm gonna scoop this tone a little bit more. Yeah, I love that. I really like those EQ settings actually. Then this section, which is actually gonna be really interesting, but at this point the tone would be done because like I wouldn't put delay or reverb. maybe reverb on some cases, but this time we have a room microphone, so I probably wouldn't do it here. Chorus maybe, like for some special effects or stuff like that. But like basically, yeah, at this point the rhythm tone would be done. You can use the pedals and all that stuff for like different effects that you might want to go for. Actually, I kind of just want to hear how this one sounds, so. Fucking delay, I really like that. Crystal, what the fuck is that? Oh, holy shit. And now the reverb. Ooh. I really like that. Okay, but so yeah, that's the rhythm tone. So that's how I personally go about it. You know, knowing which amplifier you're using and if it has like any weird quirks, it's obviously gonna help you a ton. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this tone. The ultimate test that we have not done yet is basically how it does this sound in a mix, which this step might or it might not matter to you depending on basically if you're just making tones for yourself just for jamming, or if you're actually doing this because you want to record your own music and all that stuff and you want it to sound good, you know? If you fall into that second category, or you think you're gonna fall into that category in the future, then here's a mix with this exact same tone. I'm gonna save it as a preset. The only extra thing that I'm gonna be doing to the tone, which I'm gonna show you right now so that you can see it doesn't really have a big effect on it, is put a low and a high pass on it. So this is the high pass. This is basically just gonna remove the low end, you know, the parts that a guitar doesn't really need. And each space that it should be used by the kick drum in the drums obviously and the bass guitar. So this is the difference that makes. So that's the first thing that I'm going to turn on for the mix. The other one is going to be a low pass at about 10k. And again, this is the difference with it on and off. Now, you might not like that, but like if you know how to mix or you know a few stuff about mixing, if you're still learning, you know that you have to make space for all of the different instruments. And this really is kind of a necessary move, but this is all I'm going to be doing. The rest of the tone is going to be this exact same tone that you've been hearing throughout this video. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the mix. That was the plugin and how I make guitar tones from scratch, basically. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. Let me know if you like the tone or not. But yeah, finally, the goddamn Archetype Petrucci. As if for should you buy this plugin if you came to this video for that question. I think it really depends if you're trying to get, you know, that Jump Petrucci, that Dream Theater, or that Metallica style of tone, you know, that Master of Puppets type tone. If you are, then I can absolutely 100% recommend this plugin. Like, it's fantastic. The transpose feature is amazing. I really like the doubler as well, like just for jamming. Even if you're not gonna be using this for like full-on music production and stuff, just for jamming and like just for making your own songs or your own riffs, your own stuff, this is a really fun plugin to play. I feel like it has almost everything. You have a Y if you want to use it. I didn't even try it on this video. Maybe I should in a different one. You have a compressor for clean tones, which that obviously always helps. An overdrive, which is basically like necessary on any plugin. And even here, I think you can get away with it being turned off. But just simply having the option is always nice. You have a phaser, a chorus, flanger. This is in front of the amp. I really like that you also have a chorus, a delay, and a reverb on the loop section of the amplifier. This is what this ones would be. And also that you have so much goddamn control on this. Like, this is so much. So like, really, really, really complete plugin. I really like it. The room microphone is a very nice addition. I will say, some people might not like it, but I actually kind of love the fact that you don't get an SM57 on this plugin, because like it's been so overused already. Just having the regular neural DSP features, microphones that they don't usually use for their plugins, which I feel like definitely helps set this plugin apart from all of the rest of the plugins that they have. Also, I really like the new style of EQ that they have right here. I personally just prefer this, like less bands but way more control over which frequencies you can attack. And as a nice addition, I feel like this is by far, at least from the plugins that I have tried, this is by far the prettiest and like the nicest to look at plugin from them, like UI wise. So yeah, again, that's basically it for me. This has been Fernus. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it, which is ultimately the point of why I'm making this video. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.